I got it figured out. So when you move money from your Cash App, when you move Bitcoin from your Cash App to your cold storage wallet, you first want to move it to another hot wallet because it costs less. So what we're gonna do is see the two arrows facing each other, opposite directions on the right hand side. I'm gonna click that. We're gonna send it. So we're gonna click send, and we put the amount we want to send, $10. Now you need another app. You need this app here. This app right here, once you get inside, this is what it's gonna look like. So you're gonna download this app, MUUN, and set it up and everything. It's real easy to set up. Then you'll click receive. You'll click on invoice settings. See invoice settings at the bottom? And then you'll put the amount that you want to receive. So you put amount, $10. Confirm amount. And then you're going to copy this invoice. So see the copy button? Just click copy once. And then you're going to go back over to Cash App. And you got your $10 in there. You click next. And then it's going to ask you for that Lightning invoice. This is considered a Lightning address. So we're using a Lightning Wallet address. We're not using a Bitcoin address. The difference between Lightning Wallet and Bitcoin Wallet is Lightning is way faster to send and it's almost free to send. So click that. Move that out the way. Hit next. And then, as you can see, we're sending $10. And there's no fee. So I can send this for free instead of paying a fee. And I'm going to show you the opposite of what it looks like when you try to send it and have to pay that fee. So I'm going to click, before I send this, I'm going to go back because I want you to see the difference. So if I try to send this using the regular method, so $10, and then I go over here and I get the regular Bitcoin address. Because see, there's Lightning at the top and there's Bitcoin. Lightning, Bitcoin. It's both Bitcoin, but this is a Lightning network, so it's free and cheap and easy to use, right? The Bitcoin network is not cheap to use. So, well, it's not as cheap as the Lightning network. I'll put it to you like that. When you're moving fees from a centralized location like Cash App, they're going to try to charge you a bunch of fees to take the money off of their network and move it onto your own cold storage wallet. That's how they get paid. So you want to make sure that you're using this Lightning network when you move money, unless you have to move it on the Bitcoin network. Like when you're moving into your cold storage wallet, you have to use the Bitcoin network to move it, which is right here. So I'm going to show you what it would look like if you're moving Cash App money to your any other wallet. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Bitcoin, click copy, go back to Cash App, say we want to send $10, we'll click next. Here's the Bitcoin wallet that we want to send it to, so click on that. You want to always double check these letters and numbers. BC1Q56. I just want to look over here and make sure that it looks the same, that it's the same numbers. BC1Q56. Okay, we're good. Right there at the front of the address. And then check the back of the address too. CUKTZW. Because you want to make sure you're sending it to the correct place. Because if you send it to the wrong place, it's gone. There's no getting it back. There's no calling somebody and saying, hey, can you cancel that transaction? So I need you guys to understand that about crypto. Understand that about Bitcoin. All right. Now, the next thing is you'll click next. And it's going to tell you that if you want to move that money, it's going to cost you $2.08. And you can move it within a 2-hour time period. Or you can pay $3.12 and you can move it within 20 minutes. Now, I don't recommend doing it like this unless you're moving money to your cold storage wallet. And even if you was moving money to your cold storage wallet, you don't want to move it like this from your Cash App. You want to first move it to your hot wallet outside of Cash App and then move it to your cold storage wallet. So y'all just stay with me. I'm going to show you. Now look, go back over here. You're going to click send $10. Next, we're sending it to our Lightning address. Right? So you got to click on the amount. You got to make sure you have the correct amount in there. See how it says amount right here? So I went in here and I edited. I put $10. Bet. So now, once you have the amount in there, you can copy this address and go back over here and paste it here. So now it sees Lightning Wallet address, and I want to make sure it matches. MV, MV. Y'all see that? It matches. Okay. So now I'm going to click next. And as you can see, it's sending it for free. Boom. No fees, free. I'm going to get the whole total, $10.02. Boom, pay. And I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I almost noticed that like moving the money back and forth, I'm gaining 2 cents. Did y'all see how like I gained 2 cents for free? Did anybody catch that? It's almost like the network gave me an extra 2 pennies just because of the transaction conversion. But I think what happened was the price of Bitcoin went up that quick. It was at $66,600 and something dollars. Now it's at $66,750. So it had went up a little bit, which means the price of the Bitcoin had increased in value. So that's why I had an extra 2 pennies on there. Okay. So once that's it, all you got to do is come back over here to this wallet, and you'll be able to see. Boom. If I update this, let's say if I close it and open it again, instead of it being $13 in there, it's going to be $23 in there. All right. So now, once we got it in here, we're good. We can send it over to the cold storage wallet. So the cold storage wallet that we're using is Tangem. So we're going to pull up Tangem. I'm going to click on Bitcoin and click receive. I'm going too fast. So I open Tangem. See it says Bitcoin right here. I'm going to click on Bitcoin. And this is the main network. This is the Bitcoin network. So this is what I was saying. You don't want to send it directly from Cash App to here. You want to send it from Cash App to your other hardware wallet, which is just a software wallet, something on your phone. And I like this one, the MUUM. And then once you have it in here, then you're going to send it over to your cold storage wallet. The whole reason we're doing this is so we can avoid fees. We don't want to pay Cash App fees every time we move Bitcoin, right? So this is a way to avoid fees when you move Bitcoin. This is how they're doing it in other countries. In America, everything is just built around the central banking system, so they try to make sure that you move Bitcoin using that system. But ideally, all we want to do is use that system to buy the Bitcoin, right, for the lowest amount of fees. We don't want to actually use that system to move the Bitcoin and then give them the money back or pay extra fees to move that Bitcoin. So what we're going to do is, now we're going to hit receive. And we want to copy this Bitcoin address. So we're going to hit copy. And we'll go over here and we'll say, I'm going to send $10 to this address. So I'll click the address. I make sure it matches A6X4EH. A6X4EH. Y'all see that? The last 5 characters? Boom, I'm good. Go back over here. I hit continue. Make sure my address is still correct. A6X4EH. Okay, good. $10. Confirm amount. I can write a note. I could just say 2026 March. Just so I know when I sent it. An easy reference point, right? Confirm note. And now look, the network fee is only 41 cents, which is way better than paying $3 on Cash App. Cash App wanted to charge like $3 to send $10, right? So 41 cents. Now I'm basically, think about it like this. You're only spending 41 cents to save that money for a long period of time. Because once you put it in your cold storage wallet, there's no reason for you to be taking it out. The reason you put it in the cold storage wallet is to put it on ice, to keep it safe so that it can continue to grow over a long period of time. Right? So I'm gonna hit send. Once I hit send, it's done. So now it's going through the blockchain. It's going through the Bitcoin blockchain. It's going to take longer to get to your cold storage wallet than it would when you had sent it from Cash App over to this app. The reason is because the Lightning Network is built on top of the Bitcoin network. It's still Bitcoin. You're still moving Bitcoin, but you're moving it on more of an unsecured network, basically, which is okay because it serves its purpose. That network can still be hacked and things of that nature. That's why you don't keep large amounts of money in this wallet. That's why you only see it's $13 in this wallet, right? Your cold storage wallet is where you would keep all your money, right? And as you can see, there's nothing but $10 in this wallet because this is the wallet that I use just to show you guys different stuff. You really don't want anybody to know how much Bitcoin you have because you don't want to make yourself a target, basically. Some of you guys are probably going to be saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in Bitcoin. But ideally, I'm trying to show you guys just an easy method, which is just called dollar cost average, where you're simply just stacking Bitcoin, even if it's small amounts, $5, $10, $20 at a time. You do that consistently every month, every week, whenever you can, with whatever's in your budget for your investing, and you don't spend it. So after a while, what's going to happen is it's going to pop up in here, and I'm going to be able to see that transaction. So I can click reload, or I can go to the Explorer, and I can see that transaction that I just sent. So the Bitcoin Explorer, it will show me all the transactions from this address. So this is my Bitcoin address right here, the A6H, the A6X4EH. And this is kind of, I'm trying not to get too complicated with y'all, but I'm just kind of trying to show y'all, some of this stuff. So as you can see, look, 1 minute ago, this is the $10 that was received and it's pending. So if anybody tells you that they sent it, all you got to do is just get the transaction ID. All you got to do is get the transaction ID, and you can come right here and plug it in. See, I can copy this little hash, and I can come up here to search, and I can type it in, boom, hit search, and it's going to take me to that Bitcoin transaction. You'll be able to do the same thing on your side, and you can see that Bitcoin transaction. It says pending confirmations. Said it should be good in about 5 minutes. It's in a queue of 1,700 or 29,000, right? So these are Bitcoin transactions. There's thousands and thousands of these transactions that's happening every second of the day. Fun fact most people don't know is that the whole Bitcoin network, the amount of electricity that it uses like $200 million worth of electricity, the whole network, every day, which is just crazy to think about how a system can use that amount of electricity, but it's protecting something. It's protecting something really valuable, all of this information. All of this information is in the Bitcoin network, where you see the outputs, you see the inputs. It's showing where it comes from. It's showing where it's going. As you notice, there's two different inputs. I'm just kind of giving you guys some background information, but as you can see, there's two different inputs. It's because the blockchain is going to take two different amounts from two different wallets and mix it together. And then it's going to give it an output. And it's going to have another output. So as you can see, one output is my money into my wallet. And you see another output is money that goes to a miner. So a miner received $2.65 for this transaction. And that's just the way it works. It's like when you're participating in this network, everybody wins. The people that are keeping the money moving by turning their computers on and letting their computers run this whatever it's running, mathematical equations. Basically, it's really just a guessing game. If you really go and look at what Bitcoin is and what mining is, it's really a guessing game between computers. It's a lottery system. The most powerful computer on the network will receive more Bitcoins than the other computers, but not necessarily, because there's a lottery system, meaning that the weakest computer on the network can receive Bitcoins as well. So it's fair for everybody. But anyway, as y'all can see, it's done. I don't think that transaction went through yet. It's still up there. It is, boom, and y'all got to see it live from 10 to 20, right? And here it is right here. That's the transaction that we was just looking at. Here's the 41-cent fee. Remember, I was showing you the fee. And then boom, here's the different inputs. You got $6, $4, another like $4. So that's like $14, and then you got the outputs right here. So you got an output of $10 and another $3. So it's going in and coming out. It's really it's a complicated idea, but what's important is that you guys just buy some Bitcoin, hold on to it for a long period of time, and not sell it. But think of it like you're buying a house. When you buy a house, you don't pay your mortgage every month and then after 6 months say, hey, I want to refinance and take the liquidity out of your home. You wouldn't do that, because then now you're putting yourself in more debt. When you buy a home, you're going to keep paying that mortgage, and then 10 years down the road, you're either going to sell that house or you might refinance it and take a little bit of the liquidity out. But you never get rid of that home unless you actually sell it and move out, right? Bitcoin is the same thing. Bitcoin, you're buying small amounts. So think of like when you buy $20 worth of Bitcoin, just think about you're buying a tiny piece of a house, right? But the difference is within a 10-year period, 5-year period, you'll be able to go and buy a house depending on how much you put into this thing. So I'm going to give you guys, I want you guys to just kind of see this real quick too. Watch this. Now, we're going to go back to the year 2017. So if you would have paid a mortgage of, let's just say $1,500, right? So if 2017, let's see. So basically what I'm asking Chad is, if I would have invested basically $1,500 every month, just like if I was paying a mortgage, because a lot of you guys are saying real estate, everybody's like, oh, everybody's so impressed with real estate. But I'm going to show you, if you would have took the same money that you could have invested in real estate and put it in Bitcoin, how much better it would have been for you. So watch this. So if you would have invested $1,500 in 2017 every month until now, how much, or for 10 years, how much money would you have now? So watch this. I'm going to say, I said 10 years, but let's just say 8 years. How much would you have now? Watch this. Just to show you guys the power of Bitcoin. So you would have invested a total of $144,000, which is the same thing as buying a house over an 8-year period, right? If you would have been, you know, putting this money in to some kind of property, right? Now watch this. In 2017, the Bitcoin price changed a lot. So it was between the $1,000 and $20,000 per Bitcoin. Between 2018 and 2019, the Bitcoin price was between 3K and 10K. So watch this. The amount of Bitcoin that you would have accumulated if you was buying Bitcoin every month, watch this, Bitcoin accumulated. You would have accumulated 5.2 Bitcoins, right? Now, your 5.2 Bitcoins is now worth 400,000 to 440,000. That's your value today of 5 Bitcoins. So if you would have invested $1,500 a month into Bitcoin starting in 2017, and you would have done that for 8 years, you'd be sitting at a portfolio right now of $400,000, right? So that's pretty good if you ask me. That's 4x, almost 5x your money. Because mind you, you only invested a total of $144K. But now your portfolio 8 years later is 400,000. So I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty great investment. I don't think there's anything else that would have given you a guaranteed return like that. And that's the thing that I want people to understand about Bitcoin. This is a guaranteed return. You can get a projected guaranteed return of this money. You can know exactly how much money. Well, no. Let me say it like this. The thing about Bitcoin is there's only 21 million Bitcoins, right? There's only 21 million that will ever be created. Right now there's 20 million in existence. Now in that last million Bitcoins, they'll be created for the next 1,000 years. And when you really break that down into what that means and what that looks like, that means that, for instance, over the next 4 years, every 10 minutes, 3 Bitcoins are going to be created, right? But when we reach that 4-year mark, we're going to have what's called a Bitcoin halving. A Bitcoin halving cycle. So that means that the amount of Bitcoins that's created every 10 minutes is now down to half of 3. So basically 1.5. Because right now it's at 3.125. And I think it's going, after the halving cycle, it's going to go down to like 1.75 or something like that. Half of whatever 3.125 is, right? What I'm saying is, this is an asset that is going to continue to grow in value simply because of the way it's designed. It's designed in a way of your money consistently grows over time as long as you let it grow. You know, it's not about having to time the market. It's about having patience and consistency with the market. And that's the whole power of Bitcoin. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, so now I got $400,000 worth of Bitcoin. What do I do with $400,000 worth of Bitcoin? Excellent question. You don't sell it, that's for sure. What you do is, if you want it for, say, you want to go buy a boat, right? You want to buy a boat. You want to, you want something nice. You want to go get you a $75,000 boat, $150,000 boat. That's fine. You take a loan out against some of that Bitcoin. You go pay that boat note. Right? You don't buy it cash. You go pay that boat note and you service that loan. But what's happening is your money, your Bitcoin is still growing in value because you didn't sell it. You only took a loan against some of it. Right? So I just want you guys to understand that about Bitcoin, is that it's not about trying to buy it and then sell it and make profit. It's about buying an asset that's going to live with you to the day you die, and that you can pass over to your kids or to your grandkids, or even if you don't have nobody to pass it to, it's something that's going to carry you through your whole life, because you're always going to need money. You're always going to need money. And that's the whole idea of what I'm trying to show y'all and what I'm trying to tell y'all about Bitcoin. Well, for now, I think that's enough for today. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate y'all listening.